Eureka! Hope you can hear us at home here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Hello, everybody. Joining you again is Grant Graves and Pat Hayes, and we're hoping the audio is coming through clear wherever you're joining us tonight. It's a fantastic Friday night in Northeast Ohio and a fantastic matchup. Lakewood, Elyria Catholic. We're set to bring it all to you here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. And Pat, Lakewood coming in off a tough loss against Valley Forge the other night, their first loss in the GLC, facing an Elyria Catholic squad that also faced a loss the other night against Normandy on January 4th. The Rangers trying to get back on the right track after two consecutive losses. What's it going to take?
Consistency and effort. The Rangers finally playing a normal schedule, a Tuesday, Friday matchup. They're back in the business on that. And the effort in practice. Continue over to the game. I thought they lacked it a little bit in the second half against Valley Forge. And so they got to bring that effort they brought in the first half against Valley Forge to the whole game against Elyria Catholic.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our Geiger's question of the game tonight is, what do the Rangers need to do to play more consistently for four quarters? Pat, they came out against Valley Forge knocking down shots, effort, rebounding, all the elements of a win was there, but now you're coming off two straight losses, one a heartbreaker at the buzzer, one where you came out in the second half and you just didn't have that mojo you had against Parma. You're going to need consistency to beat an EC squad we'll talk about here in a second. Go ahead and tell me what the Rangers need to do to play more consistently.
Confident and composure. They got to keep their composure and they got to stay confident. Don't turn the ball over. Don't have self-inflicted turnovers. You don't want to have any, but you don't want to just give the ball away. And just take your time, be confident, and move the basketball.
The Rangers certainly have gaining confidence from three-point land. They shot 44% against Valley Forge in their loss on Tuesday. Against Brecksville, they shot 54%. Those numbers are eye-popping, Pat. What has been so key for the Rangers getting those three-pointers consistently as a team?
They're taking good ones. They're not forcing bad shots. So they're moving the basketball, finding the open man, and taking a good shot. When you have Riley and Aiden shooting three balls, they're going to go in at a good clip.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side of the court tonight is none other than the Elyria Catholic Panthers. And Pat, district runners-up last year. They lost to Warrensville Heights in a heartbreaker in overtime. And what can we say? This team lost a lot of veteran play, a lot of veteran leadership last year, but there's a lot of talent on this squad. Just because they're young, can't dismiss some of the things these guys can do. A really great effort last year, but a young team this year looking to find their way here in conference play.
Yeah, it's a different team. You don't have Taylor sitting in the middle, clogging up the paint, Wright shooting the ball from all over the court and hitting them. The cool thing about the Rangers this year is they played them last year. So they've seen some of these guys before, in the new conference, new people, but they have a little bit of understanding of who these guys are.
The EC Panthers graduated many key starters last year, including Edward Wright, who has gone on to the next level to play basketball, and Branson Taylor, as you mentioned, who's now playing football at Pittsburgh. This team, though, with Jack Keneally, his brother Colin Keneally, Denny Fisher, they have some talent on this side, and they have some size to go with it. It's going to be challenging for the Rangers. So, Pat, go ahead and give us your $2 keys to the game as Lakewood and Elyria Catholic get set to tip off here from the beautiful Coliseum in Elyria.
I harped on it early. For the Rangers, the first thing is effort. They got to bring a better effort. The second half against Valley Forge was not a good one. They need to step up and play a little bit harder, box out, grab some rebounds against the size of EC. And now you get Pete Petsoris back in the mix. He had 28 points against the Parma Redmond. And so you got to incorporate him back in, gel with the team. We've been shooting lights out from three. He can shoot it lights out from three, but he can also finish at the rim. So it'll be a little bit different offense, and they got to incorporate him. For EC, a little brotherly love. The Keneallys. these guys are awesome. They feed off each other. They can really play well together, and they got some good size. And outside shooting, they can shoot it, and if it's hitting like the Rangers have been hitting the past couple games, it could really propel them to a victory.
The Keneally brothers transferring over here to Elyria Catholic from Holy Name, and boy, are the Panthers glad to have both their services tonight and for this season. And Pat, you said it, Pete Patsor's back in the lineup. You can't overestimate how much of a difference that's going to make for the Lakewood Rangers. That's going to be our matchup of the night. It's Keneally versus Patsoris. Keneally, 6'7", brings all the size and skill you'd want in a big man who can also shoot it from deep. A very tough matchup. But then on the other side, you got Pete Patsoris. Another tough matchup in its own right. The way he can get to the rim, knock down open shots, and hit tough shots, skill you normally don't see at the high school level. And one other similarity. They're both fantastic wide receivers on the gridiron. Pete Patsoris, the all-time touchdown receptions leader for Lakewood. Jack Keneally, he was first team all-county in football last year as a tight end for the fantastic Elyria Catholic Panthers football squad. There's more similarities on the gridiron. There's similarities on the basketball court. What are you going to look for these two tonight?
Man, I want to see Pete getting back after it first. Had a little bit of layoff, so he's got to get his legs under him. Keneally's been playing, so he's got a little bit of advantage there, and he's got a little size advantage. But Pete is long, athletic, and like very sneaky athletic. You see it, but he's even more athletic than you think. And he's a little shifty and unorthodox. He might not, you don't think he's going to do a move, and he goes off the other leg and finishes. So I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup, and they could be going back and forth all night. You just got to make sure, if you're both of them, stay in good legal guard position, not get in foul trouble.
Well, Jack Keneally, a fantastic game against Fairview a few weeks ago, 31 points, 16 of them in the fourth quarter, 19 rebounds, 4 blocks, and oh yeah, a cherry on top, 4 of 6 from three-point land. The Rangers are going to have to bring the effort, the intensity, like you mentioned, if they're going to contain him tonight, because Elyria Catholic has had some issues scoring the ball on offense. It's going to take everybody, though.
That is a fact. I mean, if he's not going, other people can go. So Rangers got to be cognizant of where he is at all times on the court and help, because, as much as you hope Pete plays the whole game, or he's going to need minutes off because of his layoff. So, people are going to have to switch. MJ Grayer is going to have to step up and play big here. We did it last year. Last year, they had Taylor, and Max Budzar at 5'9", 5'10", was able to defend him. So it could be a fun game.
Lakewood and Elyria Catholic, two stalwart basketball programs in Northeast Ohio, set to square off as conference opponents for the first time. We're so glad if you're joining us at home on the Lakewood Sports Channel. If you're on YouTube, keep leaving those comments. We'd love to see it. If you're on Boxcast, thank you so much. If you are seated and ready for great basketball, you have found the correct game tonight. We pause here at Elyria Catholic for the national anthem.
By their rules of eligibility and contest management. As members of the Great Lakes Conference, they foster the educational values that athletics teach on and off the court. The officials assigned to the season contest, with 12 years of high school basketball officiating experience, Mr. Robert Bureau. With 12 years of high school basketball officiating experience, Mr. Scott Shirtliff. And with 19 years of high school basketball officiating experience, Mr. Dave Russo. Please welcome them to Elyria Catholic. Their experience and integrity qualify them for their this attitude should be reflected by all here this evening. At this time, you're asked to please stand and remove your hats for a short prayer, followed by the national anthem. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord our God, we ask you to watch over your church throughout the world and your church gathered here today. Help us remember that our most important goal is to do our best. Grant us a healthy and respectful spirit of competition. Watch over our athletes, coaches, referees, fans, students, and alumni. May we respect the gifts and abilities that you have given to each. Let us honor your Holy Spirit living within us, and guide us to be people of E, excellence, and C, compassion. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Our Lady of Victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. In order to honor America and her troops serving her, you're asked to remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is basketball time from the Coliseum here in Elyria. The Panthers and Rangers getting the square off. We go to the PA announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
Great Lakes Conference rules. First, for the visitors from Lakewood High School. A 6'3" senior forward wearing number 1, Pete Patsuris. And for the kids from the corner, Golden Poplar, a 6'2" sophomore guard from Holy Trinity, number 3, Colin Canele. For Lakewood, a 5'10" junior guard wearing number 5, Riley Hewlin. And for Elyria Catholic, a 5'11" junior point guard from Amherst Junior High, number 2, Robert Palmer. For Lakewood, a 5'10" junior guard wearing number 10, Hakeem Khan.
As you see, Pete Patsorts and Riley Ulins out there. Two dynamic scores for the Rangers, joined by Hakeem Karan. Karan had a great game against Valley Forge for Lakewood the other night in a losing effort, but man, he was heart and soul down the stretch.
He
for
really
the
came
Rangers.
on at the end. Yeah, he was attacking the rim fearlessly, which was huge, trying to score buckets with the clock stopped.
Our starting lineups tonight are presented by Rebound Physical Therapy. Don't let injuries keep you out of the game. Get back on the court of life with Rebound Physical Therapy.
Holy Trinity Avon, number 1, Jack Canele. And rounding out the Lakewood starting lineup, a 5'10" junior guard, number 14, Andre Hallen.
You would think Jack would play a little wide receiver. He seems like a little thin. I mean, muscular but thin to be playing tight end. Maybe make that jump at the next level.
I just report what I know, Pat. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, again to the Lakewood Sports Channel, presented by First Federal of Lakewood. First Federal of Lakewood is rooted in the communities they serve and has supported the personal and business banking needs of its customers since 1935. Visit ffl.net to learn more. And folks, we're so glad you are joining us on the Lakewood Sports Channel, a beautiful venue. Two teams hungry to get back in the win column in the GLC. Pat, this is going to be a fun one. I hope everybody at home is ready for a show.
Yeah, it should be an exciting one. Both teams very hungry, like you said. Both only have one win, so really want to get that second win of the season.
Lakewood and Elyria Catholic set to tip it off here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Pat Soros and Keneally will jump for this one as the Elyria Catholic Panthers will run out Palmer Jr., Jack Keneally, Colin Keneally, Denny Fisher, and Jarrett France. Pete Patsource, Marcel Grayer, Andre Hollenberg, Riley Ulnitz, and Hakeem Karan out there for the Rangers.
Andre with his first varsity start tonight. Pretty awesome for him.
The tip will be controlled by the Panthers, and it's basketball time here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Ulnitz got a hand on that one. Immediately down low to Keneally with a nice touch underneath. Panthers on the board first.
That is too easy to start the game. Got to give a little bit better defense there.
Pete Patsource back for his first game since Parma, 2-game absence for the Rangers, and a charge immediately on Patsource. A little too aggressive there on the spin move. A nice job by Jarrett France to get his feet set on that one.
He's got to be careful now on the defensive end. Really wall up here.
Patsource, a tough assignment tonight with Keneally down low. Foul trouble will be something to watch for the Rangers all night. Thin tonight with no Ahmed Muhammad, another big man they rely on. Nice move by Palmer, knifing in. Elyria Catholic, the district runner-up last year, and Palmer steps out. Ball back to the Rangers as Wacker is in for the Rangers. A quick substitution for the Rangers there.
The way he's been shooting the basketball, you want to get him in the game to shoot the ball.
Aiden Wacker, 5 3-pointers against Brecksville, 4 3-pointers against Valley Forge. The Rangers are hoping he'll stay hot. Ulnitz has a lane. Ulnitz has a layup. A nice take by Riley Ulnitz, his first points of the night. The leading scorer for the Rangers and the catalyst of the offense against Valley Forge. Nice drive there by Fisher. He finds France for 3. No good. Pete Patsource got a hand on it, enough to get it to Ulnitz. Here come the Rangers. Karan for 3. Oh, 3 of those. Hakeem, the dream. Karan for 3.
You already like the energy the Rangers are bringing in this first quarter. It's fun to see.
A good crowd here on hand at Elyria Catholic, and a good finish from number 2, Robert Palmer, underneath. A strong take there, Pat.
Yeah, it's strong, good finish.
Another strong take by Pete Patsource, flying to the rim. Good to have you back, Pete Patsource. The Rangers doing a nice job of getting to the rim here against a big Elyria Catholic team.
Yeah, they're going back and forth again. It kind of reminds me of the start of the Valley Forge game as well.
Another turnover, and the bench mob loving that one for the Rangers. Pat, this is night and day from what we saw from Lakewood against Valley Forge. These guys are excited and ready to cheer these Rangers on.
You know, it can't go unmentioned. The JV players for the Rangers bringing a lot of energy behind the bench, too. It almost feels like a home game for the Rangers.
Ulnitz, a nice move off the pick from Patsource. Patsource for 3. That one is good. Pete Patsource, rust no more.
He said, I saw you guys hitting all these threes. I want to do that.
Pete Patsource, 5 quick points here in the first quarter as the Rangers lead 9-4. 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. A nice job to double Keneally, but a little too physical was Riley Ulnitz. And Pat, you can kind of see the strategy there from Coach Kamock a little bit. He gets the ball, he touches it underneath. We're going to bring somebody behind to help.
Someone's going to dig and try to get it out of him, and then they're going to rotate and try to find the guy that he ditches out to.
Fade away from Keneally, just off. A nice move there to try to get a baseline out of bounds play for him.
You'll live with him.
Patsource attacking again. Nice fake, but a travel. Moved his feet a little bit. He had number 15, Alex Carendog, on his back heels there, a substitute for the Elyria Catholic Panthers. Carabang. Rangers maintaining a 9-4 lead here, coming up with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. GLC action on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Fisher, no good. Tough physical rebound by Karan, and he'll push it. Beating everybody back. Karan to Yulnitz. No good. That one clanks off the back iron, and here comes the 6'7" forward, Keneally.
Like we talked about, though, that's still a good look. It just didn't fall.
Palmer got in the middle and was a little too physical as Pete Patsoris, his second foul already. And again, Pat, to guard Jack Keneally, you need to match size with size. Pete Patsoris, one of the taller players available tonight with no Ahmed Muhammad. So now the task goes to Marcel Greyer.
Yeah, he's going to have to sit for a minute. Actually, a few minutes, because you don't want him to pick up three right away.
France from three. Bingo! Jared France from three, the senior, knocking down that one to pull Panthers within two. Nice floater by Wacker there. Fresh off the bench is Aiden Wacker. A nice floater, and we've seen his offensive game really developing lately.
Yeah, he's going inside, he's going outside. Hakeem the Dream got away with one there with a little lackadaisical pass that got through, but it worked out for the Rangers.
Rangers forcing another turnover on the Panthers, and again, Pat, the energy has resulted in some really nice defensive stops for the Rangers, something we didn't see on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was very flat on Tuesday. They're really bringing it back today with a lot more energy, and that starts at practice. And they did a really good job of bringing the energy up at practice, and it's carrying over to the game.
Hollenberg to Yulnitz. Wacker, Karan, and Greyer. Wacker for three, picking off where he left off. Aiden Wacker, a three-point machine for the Rangers, Pat. And, man, we haven't seen the shooting percentage from deep like this in a long time.
He's going to shoot himself into playing college basketball here soon if he keeps it up.
Aiden Wacker extending the Ranger lead to 7. 4 minutes remaining in the first. Hakeem Karan, a block underneath on Karan. Jared France a little too physical there for Karan. Nice job to get in front of him. Bumped him a little bit on the shot.
Yeah, Andre's got to get over there a little bit sooner than cut him off instead of coming in with the body and putting him on the line.
Jared France at the line, the 6'4" forward for the Elyria Catholic Panthers.
I know we're up a little bit higher, but 6'4" seems a little generous, Grant.
Well, Pat, as you well know.
I think I was listed at 5'10" maybe in high school.
5'10".
And I think I'm 5'8" with a good pair of shoes, maybe some Air Maxes, maybe some cleats.
And a step box.
Hey now.
Lakewood Sports Channel here with Patrick Hayes as Jared France puts up another one. That one is good, and the Panthers trail by 6. Full court pressure from Palmer on Yulnitz. A great matchup in the backcourt tonight between the Panthers and Rangers. 14-8, the Rangers lead. Marcel Greyer collects this one. Greyer, the energetic heart of this Ranger squad out there on the floor right now. He will mix it up with anyone. Wacker for three. That one a little too strong. A rare miss from Wacker this season from three.
Yeah, a little bit of heat check there from Aiden Wacker. He didn't really hold his follow through. He kind of just flicked it at the hoop instead of really shooting the ball.
A nice offensive rebound from Lakewood gives them the chance there to collect a few free throw contests. It will be Hakeem the Dream going from 2.
Big hit for the first one. He missed a couple late in the Valley Forge game, but he was working so hard that his legs were a little dead. Fresh legs first quarter, knocking him down.
Hakeem, an excellent fourth quarter for the Rangers on Tuesday night. That one is off, and the rebound is pulled down by Miles Lindsler. First time in for the Panthers tonight. Palmer, Lindsler, Joey Bucci out there. Keneally and Carabang out there for the Panthers. Panthers probing for a shot. Rangers staying in front. 3 minutes remaining. They lead by 7.
It's an exciting defensive possession here for the Rangers because they're mismatched on height in a couple different positions, and they're really battling here.
Nice drive and kick to Keneally for 3, and the big man puts it in. Jack Keneally from deep, and Pat, we said it on the pregame show, when you got a guy of that size who can just post up around the three-point arc and knock down open shots, it gives your offense a totally different element.
When you got guys with size that can step out and play like a guard, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, the Rangers had the opportunity to use that a few years ago with the likes of Tim Smith, Tommy Sala, Zion Darby. I mean, those guys could really step out and do the same thing, but they could also finish the hoop. So it's a luxury to have.
A golden age of Lakewood basketball as Pat takes us on a stroll down memory lane here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. And I can't believe it, Pat. Jarrett Franz, our producer name is Vince Franz. How did I mess that one up? I guess my green announcer voice is showing here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. We will correct that as we go. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left here in the first quarter from the Coliseum in Elyria. Lakewood and Elyria Catholic battling in GLC play. Full court pressure from the Panthers out of the timeout. Token pressure, they will back out. It'll be Unlitz and Palmer 1v1.
Yeah, watch the hand check there.
Nice take by Unlitz, but a better block by number 24, Miles Linzer. Aiden Wacker, the left corner, is his home base, Pat. He takes his shoes off, puts the keys on the hook, and says, I'm home anytime he can get a shot off from the left corner.
You can't leave that man over there, man. Riley drove in. They collapsed on him, but he's sitting there ready just to tee up another three ball from the corner.
Lakewood against Brecksville was 80% from that left corner, and Aiden Wacker did a fantastic job to knock down the open three-pointer as Lakewood a little too physical again on the defensive end, their fifth foul here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and with the size advantage, you're going to get that. The Rangers are going to fall into some, foul trouble. It's just who gets them. You got to really get minutes from guys like a Q Neal and maybe a Miles Harper as well.
Some substitutions for the Rangers. Hollenberg, Q Neal coming out there to join Karan, Grayer, and Wacker. Palmer at the line for the Panthers. Stepped on the line, a little too close to the line. Any Big Lebowski fans will know about that one. Miles Linzer.
You don't see a lane violation too much in high school basketball anymore.
Alex Carabang, Jack Keneally, number 23, Thomas Niederstedt is out there as well.
Rangers are doing a really good job of weathering the storm with Pete Petstoris out of the game.
Lakewood leading by 6 here late in the first quarter. Q Neal shuffled his feet. Ball back to the Elyria Catholic Panthers as they're going to try to cut into the 6-point lead, and we're so happy that we're seeing so many Lakewood faithful out here tonight in Elyria. The crowd is great out here. Usually you see 3 rows of stands, Pat. A lot of great playoff memories here for the Rangers, some not so great ones as well. But we got Mark Walters out here, the LHS principal, and we have many other Lakewood faithful out here. It's great to see so many familiar faces. Nice job underneath by Grayer to battle and get the ball back for the Rangers.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the Rangers travel well as much as you can, and it almost seems like a home game for the Rangers with the JV squad really bringing the energy behind the bench.
The Lakewood Rangers played out here last year against Lorraine in the district final, a classic against Elyria in the semifinal. Unfortunately fell to Olmsted Falls out here in the district final a few years ago. Keneally, watch out. Jack Keneally on the layup, and he pulls the Panthers into a 4-point deficit. Q Neal quickly down the other end. A fadeaway rims around and no good, but he got his own rebound. Wacker the drive, the kick, the shot, the score. Aiden Wacker doing it all over the place for the Rangers tonight.
Yes, he is. You got to bring the energy on the defensive end if you're Wacker as well.
Carabang, a nice three-pointer from the outside. The Rangers again leaving the outside shooters for the Elyria Catholic Panthers open. Karan quickly the other way, that one off the side of the backboard. And here come the Panthers. Down 3, Carabang all the way down. Too much English on that one. It won't go, and these two will get knotted up down here.
These two are going. Both teams are going so fast at the rim that they're not finishing. I thought Akeem could have taken one more dribble, maybe a jump stop and finish under control here. Same down here for the Panthers. They, kind of just chucked it off the backboard.
A smaller lineup for the Rangers, really pushing the ball down the court. as the Panthers only trail now by 3 with 51.35 seconds. They got the 10th of a decimal place at this place. That's how you know they host playoff games.
And they got you'll see at the end of the quarter, they got the red light on the backboards, which is also pretty cool.
Don't get distracted.
Hey, I won't. Shiny things I start looking at.
Q Neal, a nice fake. Underneath, Canale contest, but Q Neal had to arc that one pretty high up there, Pat, but a nice bank off the glass for Q Neal. Canale, a deep three. That one just rims out. It was halfway down the drain, but came back up clogged. 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. 22-17, the Rangers lead. Q Neal calling for a screen.
Rangers will take the last shot here. About 10 seconds, someone's going to come set a ball screen.
A fantastic offensive quarter for the Rangers as Palmer pushes off Karan a little too hard. Aiden Wacker with 10 points here in the first quarter. Pete Patsoris on the bench, 2 fouls but 4 points. Fantastic offensive showing from the Rangers here. But again, same thing against Valley Forge. They were hitting shots. It's the 4-quarter play that they really want to make sure they're maintaining.
Yes, the Rangers played well in the first half against Valley Forge, and they just got to continue it for 4 quarters, like you said.
6 seconds left. Q Neal slow playing this one. Not much time remaining. A nice in and out as he jump stops, and he is going to give the ball back to the Elyria Catholic Panthers with 0.63 seconds remaining. Another turnover for the Rangers will give the Panthers a very quick chance to try to get one up, a desperation heave it might be.
I thought he may have shuffled the shoes before the offensive foul, but they got him with a foul, which...
A running start there for Fisher. Oh, boy. The lights of the scoreboard were almost witness to a half-court heave there by Denny Fisher. A fantastic quarter of basketball here from Elyria as the Rangers and the Panthers battle to a 22-17 first quarter score.
That red light could have came in play there.
As a referee, Pat, you know all the angles and all the regulations that those at home sometimes need help with. We're so lucky to have you, Pat. And we are lucky to be bringing you basketball here on the Lakewood Sports Channel, presented by First Federal of Lakewood. And, Pat, really great signs. If you were running a diagnostic test on the Lakewood Rangers varsity basketball team, you would check for energy, shot selection.
Correct.
Swarming on defense. I think they passed the test on all 3 in that quarter, but as you know, there's more than 8 minutes of basketball to be played here tonight on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
Correct. You got to win every quarter. I think Coach Kamak talked about it in the Ranger Rewind the other day.
It's a tough one.
You got to win.
Ranger
yeah,
Rewind.
it's a lot of.
You got to enunciate.
So he talked about winning every quarter, and blowing out a team is not very likely. It's only really winning a quarter by 5 points every quarter, winning by 20. So you got to win the quarter every single quarter.
Lakewood 22-17 leading the Panthers, and we're so happy you're joining us from home. We have Lakewood super fan Kellen Donahoe saying, "Let's go Rangers" on our YouTube page. Thank you for tuning in, Kellen. We love the support. Miles Harper out there for the Rangers with Riley Unlitz, Hakeem Karan, Q Neal, and Pete Patsoris back out there with 2 fouls. Palmer from the corner. That one is good. A nice job moving without the ball. Robert Palmer Jr., his father, Robert Palmer Sr., the head coach for Elyria Catholic, the district runner-up in the Division III bracket last year. And, Pat, again, the Rangers losing outside shooters for Elyria. That might be one of the issues that they're going to see as Pete taking his time with this one. An air ball by Patsoris, but he gets his own rebound. A couple Rangers on the floor. Miles Harper from deep. That one around the rim and out. Jarrett France, a nice rebound there. As Q Neal dove for that one, did not come up with it.
I'm not sure why Hakeem was diving for it. I think they just threw it out of bounds. But it's staying the Rangers.
I heard he might try out for the baseball team, so maybe he was trying to show Coach Rebar some skills there that haven't been uncovered before. Time will tell.
He's got some wheels on him. He could play some center field.
Lakewood leading 22-20 over the Panthers here from Elyria. 7 minutes have yet to tick off here in the second quarter. Pete Patsoris again pulling it out high on that right wing. Step back 3, just short by Patsoris, and here come the Elyria Catholic Panthers. Big forward. Keneally pulls up, no good. That was a nice look for Keneally. Can't let him have those all night.
Yeah, it's a really good look, but you'll live with it in transition. I think that it was almost like, what is it, Simon Says? Pete Patsoris pulls one, and then he's like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. See if I can one-up him.
Our Slife matchup of the night is Keneally and Patsoris, and so far for Elyria Catholic, Keneally with 7 points, Pete Patsoris with 5 points, for Elyria Catholic as Yulnitz underneath. A nice bounce pass to Harper, who finds Yulnitz back. Good ball sharing by the Lakewood Rangers. Hakeem Karan got that one moving a little bit forward with some front spin and was able to get it over the front of the rim, extending the Rangers' lead to 4.
I was going to say right there, the Rangers almost shared the ball too much there. Miles Harper was right next to the rim. He could have put it up, but Hakeem came there with a nice move.
Nice move by Keneally underneath on that right block as he puts it up for his 9th point of the night. Patsoris quickly down the other way, spins up and no good, but he gets his own rebound. Too physical underneath was Jack Keneally. That will be his 2nd foul of the night as Patsoris was determined to get some points on that drive for the Lakewood Rangers. They sorely missed his rebounding the past 2 games. He was a menace against Parma, 28 points. He had 14 rebounds against Parma. It felt like half of those were offensive.
Yeah, he is long, athletic, and gets a ton of rebounds. It just seems like Keneally and Pete are going to use all 5 fouls tonight and score a lot of points, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Steven Navalinsky replaces Keneally with 2 fouls, and Aiden Wacker, the dead-eye shooter for the Rangers, is back out there, and Elyria Catholic's got to account for him. 10 points already tonight. Patsoris extends his point total to 7. Nice pull there from Colin Keneally. That one just off.
Pete soars for that rebound again.
All the way, coast to coast, Pete Patsoris. And boy, a tough take by Patsoris. He'll go back to the free throw line for 2. And you get nervous with the bleachers where they are there, Pat, especially because Pete is so athletic going the other way. He was a locomotive out of control there.
Coast to coast there. I think he scored half his points against Parma at the free throw line. So he lives there, and he loves to knock him down.
Pete Patsoris extending his lease at the free throw line for another season here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
I'll take that one. That's my fault. He missed it. I kind of said he loves to live there, and then I jinxed him.
I won't say anything to him if you don't. That one off again, but Miles Harper mixed it up down low to get the ball back to the Rangers. Q Neal gets it to Patsoris, who swings it to Yulnitz. 4-3, Riley Yulnitz, all 3 of those. Timeout Lakewood as Riley Yulnitz, a nice 3-pointer, Pat, and if Riley Yulnitz finds himself with that much space, you can guarantee it's going to be bad news for the opponent.
Yeah, it's going up when he's got to look like that, and just unselfish play. Just the one more pass for a 3, knock it down, Riley.
The Rangers and Elyria Catholic Panthers battling to a 29-22 score here in the 2nd quarter, and we hope that you are tuning in and enjoying the game at home. We want to shout out our sponsor, Slife, Geiger's, $2, First Federal of Lakewood, Rebound Physical Therapy, also instrumental, as well as the Lakewood Athletic Boosters, and helping us pull this off here. A beautiful gym and having the capability, Pat, to broadcast an away game. I can't think of anything better to do on a Friday night here in Northeast Ohio. Colin Cunningham behind the camera for us. Vince Franz at home producing for the Lakewood Sports Channel tonight. It takes a village, and we're glad you have tuned in. Carabang again attacking downhill for the Panthers. He gets it off to Fisher. Fisher makes it into the middle, but a stampede of Rangers was there to meet him. No matter, Denny Fisher lays it up and in.
The Rangers are there, but they came late. You got to get there earlier.
Denny Fisher, the 2-pointer there as Riley Yulnitz was all alone, but just a little short on that one.
Too much time to think about it, you know.
Pete Patsoris matching up with Fisher here. Ball thrown away by Fisher. Q Neal, nice hustle to keep it in bounds. Yulnitz finds Wacker. Wacker, the floater won't go. A nice sequence there for the Rangers, couldn't execute.
Show your hands, Pete. Good
Riley
hands by
Yulnitz finds that one in his hands and poked away by Franz, but taken back. Yulnitz working with Patsaurus as the Rangers lead by 5. Patsaurus underneath. Too strong underneath Pete Patsaurus, his 9th point of the night, and Pete Patsaurus heating up here in this second quarter. He's gotten to the free throw line. He's getting his positions on the block. That's a good sign for the Rangers.
He's doing a fantastic job of Keneally's out of the game, taking advantage of his opportunities.
Q Neal, the contestant in the quarter. Caravan way off on that one. Here comes Riley Yulnitz down the court. Nice in and out by Yulnitz. Down the lane, left-hand finish and good. Riley Yulnitz, a great take there from the junior guard for the Rangers. Rangers now lead 33-24.
He's so silky smooth, man. He can slice and dice, or he can hit the outside shot. He's fun to watch.
Another take by Fisher. He got all the way down to the middle. Q Neal, Miles Harper were there, but a little too physical. Again, Pat, like you said, he let a guy gain steam and get that deep into the paint. Usually going to see him at the free throw line.
Yeah, you almost, if you're slide over and take a charge there, you want to contest. Blocking a shot's fun. Taking a charge, very rewarding.
A nice job by the Rangers here to build this now 8-point lead out of Elyria Catholic, but here come the big men for the Panthers. Keneally back out there. Miles Linzer out there for the Rangers. For the Panthers, the Rangers will counter with Grayer, Yulnitz, Q Neal, Pete Patsaurus, and Aiden Wacker for the Rangers. A nice offensive lineup for both the Panthers and the Rangers.
Really good minutes by Miles Harper there. He may not have lit up the scoreboard, but he played really hard defense and did some really good job on the help side defense.
Miles Harper, great basketball lineage, the son of girls coach Mike Harper, as Marcel Grayer turns on that one. Q Neal in the corner. That one is good. Q Neal joins the ranks of the Lakewood Rangers, hitting from deep. His first three-pointer tonight pulls the Rangers to a 10-point lead here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Palmer directing traffic. He looks to get the ball into Keneally in the post. A nice job by Grayer there to keep him from receiving an easy pass by Palmer.
Really smart by Coach Kamak, letting MJ guard him and letting Pete stay off him to not try to pick up another quick one.
Unlimited energy as Marcel Grayer. Keneally wide open. That one banked, and you could pulled down by Lisner, and unfortunate for the Rangers there. They forced the Panthers into a bad shot, but Linzer was there for the rebound. Pete again beats everybody down the floor, beats everybody to the rebound, puts it up and in. Pete Patsaurus, 11 points
contact there too on the finish, but you know what? They're letting them play a little bit.
Pete Patsaurus, 6 points here in the second quarter as 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first half.
Really good job there by MJ fighting through that screen.
Grayer and Keneally getting physical down there
Keneally
in the post.
Living in
Keneally
that paint right
jumps into Grayer, but they're going to call Grayer for the block as Keneally finally was able to receive the ball in the post and get to the foul line. He's a load down there. Even if you have a great position, even if you're doing all the right things, he can still get to his spots most times.
Yeah, but if you're hanging out there for a half an hour, he was camping out there. Let's get a 3 seconds call, man. It's easy to score when you stand there for a half an hour.
Color man, referee, hot dog reviewer,
Hey,
Pat,
man.
I think your LinkedIn page needs an update as Keneally, too strong on the free throw, will keep this one at 38-28. The Rangers ahead. 2 minutes, 13 seconds here on a wonderful Friday night of Northeast Ohio basketball.
Need a perfect example right here. Need free throw box out. I'm sure they worked on it this week. Really need to get a box out here.
Keneally up and good on his second, splits the pair as Q Neal will get it ahead to Yulnitz. The Rangers again looking to score early here, but Yulnitz will pull it out and they'll run some offense.
I'm going to stop talking during free throws. Everything I say goes the opposite way.
Pat, if you stop talking, I think our crowd at home will revolt. You are the quintessential piece of the Lakewood Sports Channel.
Oh, I'm sure. Pete sees that middle of the key right there wide open. He wants to attack it.
The Panthers letting Patsaurus hang out there by the timeline. Crossover by Patsaurus. Fakes again to his left. Nice defense by Franz there underneath on Patsaurus.
Good turnaround.
Panthers come back the other way. Quick move by Palmer. That one was scooped up, and he finds Keneally for three. That one rimmed around, hit the backboard, took a trip around, and finally went in. Jack Keneally for three, and now the Panthers trail by 6. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining. Keneally mismatch on Yulnitz. He'll get rid of it.
Be patient here.
Rangers
6-point
probing
lead.
for good offense. 38 points here in 2 quarters of play. With a minute remaining, the Rangers will look for their next basket. Patsaurus underneath, a little too physical was Palmer. He's double teamed. Patsaurus puts it up and in. Pete Patsaurus never giving up under the hoop, as Palmer and Keneally had him pretty tightly corralled there. Franz from 3, that one is good. Jarrett Franz from way downtown pulls the Panthers back within 5. 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Rangers 40, Panthers 35. Yulnitz the drive. Nice bounce pass to Grayer, and Keneally will be called for the foul. A block by Keneally will send Grayer to the line.
I can't get a read off this. I thought Pete was getting a lot of body down there, and then I thought that might have been a clean block, but I need to go to the eye doctors.
You do?
I think so.
Have you scheduled an appointment?
No, but I need to.
Okay. Put a reminder in your phone.
I will.
That's what I always get told to do. Marcel Grayer at the line for the Rangers. MJ done a fantastic job all night battling down low, as Hollenberg and Karan will come back in for the Rangers to join Wacker, Q Neal, and Grayer, who is shooting for the Elyria Catholic Panthers. It'll be number 3, Colin Keneally. Number 23, Thomas Niederstedt. Jarrett Franz. Number 11, Joey Bucci is also out there for the Panthers, and number 0, Denny Fisher as well for the Panthers.
Really smart coaching decision by Coach Kamak, getting Pete Patsaurus out of the
Denny
game.
Fisher open from 3, and that one is good. Another open three-pointer by the Panthers has Coach Kamak shaking his head. I'm sure he will have some words for the defense at halftime. Q Neal, the step back. James Harden appearance here, ladies and gentlemen, at the Coliseum. A turnover now by the Panthers will give the ball back to the Rangers. 1.5 seconds remaining. What a shot from Q Neal. We haven't seen that from him this year, Pat.
Yes, that was a thing of beauty. Just a little step back, bang.
We're so glad you can be joining us here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. A fantastic night of basketball here from Elyria. Aiden Wacker winds up, throws that one down to Patsaurus. Franz the tip. And that one will go out of bounds, staying with the Rangers, but only 0.22 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Rangers trying to go Christian Leitner there. It's got to be a tip here. Can't catch and shoot.
Coach Kamak calling a timeout to get his players in there to draw up a play here with minuscule amount of time remaining on the clock. And Pat, it's a 5-point game for the Rangers. Some eerie similarities to the Valley. Tough shots, aggressive play, great takes by the Rangers on offense. But again, when you allow the other team to leak out offensively on the other end, the Panthers will take open transition threes all night. They are not afraid to take that shot. In fact, it's probably what they were hoping to get tonight.
You can't celebrate your bucket. You got to sprint back and play on the defensive end, especially the speed of the game going right now. I'm going to assume the Rangers are going to try to run a back screen of some sort, maybe get Pete Patsaurus towards the rim, get a little tip in.
Q Neal, a nice three-pointer there to pull the Rangers to a 5-point lead. The Rangers, with a small lineup all night, the guards have been instrumental in building this 5-point lead here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Patsaurus with 13 this half. Wacker with 10. Where are they going to go here, Pat? Oh, Elyria Catholic sniffed that one out pretty big time there. They had 4 guys at the baseline there. They knew only an alley-oop could get them the shot there that they wanted.
Yeah, you kind of pack it in there and assume that, they're going to throw it there. You just got to kind of bat it away.
Well, you know what? We're not packing it in here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. We have fantastic basketball left to bring the Lakewood faithful at home. A fantastic first half of basketball from the Lakewood Rangers as they head to the locker room. Pete Patsoris, Aiden Wacker, Riley Eulens with some fantastic offense. The Panthers led by Jack Keneally. A few nice shots from Robert Palmer Jr. and Denny Fisher as well. Have this one at 43-38 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. We will bring you Ranger basketball as the half clock winds down here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Well, it's halftime here in Elyria, and a fantastic job to get a 5-point advantage. And Pat, we talked a little bit about, what the Rangers needed to do to play more consistently. To that end, what do you think has been the major factor for a 5-point advantage here for the Rangers?
They're bringing the energy. And they're playing consistent. They're taking good shot selection. Now defensively, they're lacking a little bit still. Too many coast to coast. They're helping late, straight line drives. But the 3-point back, and that's what's going on right now.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this second half? Let's do it.
I am.
Are you ready to bring a show to the faithful at home?
I am excited, man.
Come on.
This is unusual, though. We'll see what was going on. So EC came out with 30 seconds left in the half. So, usually you come out with 3-4 minutes to get some shots up. So we'll see how that plays into the second half.
Listen, I'm a Lakewood soccer coach.
Yes.
And when you coach soccer, you coach with Coach Tove.
Yes.
And it may say 10 minutes on that scoreboard you get at halftime. He's usually at 11, 12. The team's already on the field warming up, and we're coming out of the locker room.
Okay, Coach, we need the guys.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make sure everybody's on the same page. And we're so glad you're on the same page with us at home tonight. A fantastic night of basketball here from Elyria as the Rangers lead 43-38 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. And Pat, you can tell the Rangers are so happy to have Pete Patsoris back on their side tonight.
Yeah, you usually say, one player shouldn't make a big difference, but it does in some aspects. I mean, he can really score the basketball. He's long, athletic, and really rebound it. It helps tremendously.
Jack Keneally, 13 points for the Panthers. Pete Patsoris, 13 points for the Rangers. Aiden Wacker with 10. It's been a great duel between these two GLC opponents as we kick off the second half here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
EC mixing up, coming out in a 2-3 zone, giving the Lakewood a little bit different look.
Lakewood has faced a few zones this year in their first 3 contests of the year.
Slightly interesting strategy with the Rangers shooting so well from 3 this season. But you know what? When your man-to-man's not working so well, sometimes you just got to switch it up.
The Rangers doing a great job of breaking out and scoring quickly in the first half. That's not going to be a option here as the 2-3 zone will force the Rangers to move the ball around. Karan, a nice floater in the lane, but Keneally too tough there to get that one over. He pulls it down. Palmer pushes it. Keneally, Palmer, Fisher, and Franz out there for the Panthers. It's Patsoris, Ulentz, Grayer, and Karan and Wacker for the Rangers. 3-point attempt is off for the Panthers there. Quickly down the floor come the Rangers. Nice Euro step by Patsoris. A sweet touch off the rim there will get Patsoris' 15th point of the night. The Rangers extend their lead to 7.
Really tough finish there over a big body.
Rangers in the traditional man-to-man looking to counter the Panther attack here. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Keneally up and under down low is fouled on his offensive rebound.
Gotta
he
show
will
your
go
hands.
back to the free throw line where he was constantly.
I was going to say it early because MJ was coming around and he had his hands on. I was going to say show your hands, and then he missed a shot and he ended up getting a little shove and shooting 2.
Keneally to the line with 13 points, the leading scorer for the Panthers. Patsoris 15 points for the Rangers, the leading scorer for Lakewood.
Both teams did a really good job of weathering the storm with their 2, main guys out of the lineup.
Patsoris with 2 fouls, Keneally with 3 fouls for the Panthers as he knocks down the free throw there to make it a 5-point advantage, and now some full court pressure. A 1-2-2 for the Panthers. Nice job finding Karan in the corner for 3. That one off the front of the rim, but there's Patsoris mixing it up again. He's going to keep it here for the Rangers.
I'll be honest, Grant, that could be a key contributing factor on why EC went zone. They don't want Keneally to pick up his fourth, so they want to go zone, so he's not guarding an individual.
Grayer calling for it underneath. Karan was a little too slow to see him, and Rangers will push the other way as a golden opportunity there was contested by Keneally after the pass did not come soon enough.
Fantastic slip screen by MJ Grayer, just the inbounder didn't see him.
Panthers probing around, Rangers doing a nice job getting up and giving them no space to operate. Knifing into the middle was Colin Keneally, but unfortunately he is. That one will be called a travel as the Panthers are back out in some 1-2-2 pressure here full court.
Rangers got away with another one because they were late on the help side, but he was able to shuffle his shoes and get the ball back to us.
Karan in the corner, nice fake, a nice take. They're going to call him for a double dribble there. Picked it up a few too many times. And Pat, the third quarter starting off a little bit sloppy here again. If you're the Rangers, you want consistency, consistency, consistency. They got to make sure they get on the right track here offensively.
And you have to credit EC Panthers with it because they're showing some pressure. They're showing some different looks, so it's throwing the Rangers off a little bit.
Palmer underneath the bucket and one. Robert Palmer Jr. with a nice take there underneath. And Pat, there seemed to be nobody at the midline, nobody home for the Lakewood Rangers.
It's bad defense all around there. I mean, you can't let them just drive to the hoop like that, but you got to have somebody on the basket line to help out there.
Palmer, a fantastic game this year against Buckeye where he had 18 points and 4 assists. And a nice job knocking down the free throw there. Rangers seeing their lead shrinking, only lead by 2, 45-43, 5 minutes remaining. Hewlett's taking it all the way. Palmer did not like that one, and his reaction is one of unbelievable reaction.
I was going to ask that, Grant.
Categorize Robert Palmer's
Back
reaction
when we
there.
played, I'm sure we did, but did we have the antics when we thought we got fouled or we didn't get fouled, or do we have the expressions that the kids do now?
Yes.
Okay, I figured we did.
The kids are all right.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm sure we did. I think a couple years ago in the alumni tournament.
The mind forgets.
I think a couple years ago in the alumni tournament, I think I had 3 fouls in about 15 seconds, so I know how it goes.
An expert speaking on the subject is Riley Hewlett's a rare free throw miss. Nice job by Palmer to get that one ahead. Keneally underneath, scoop and score. Jack Keneally, too much for the Rangers, who were not set up on the back line there. 46-45, Panthers creeping back in this one. Pete Patsoris looking to get to the rim again for the Rangers. Step back three, way too short, but there's MJ Grayer. Pete Patsoris cuts.
Ooh, slipped out of his hand
Slipped out of his hand. Patsoris had a wide open layup. Did not go, but the Rangers will get it back. Hewlett's ahead to Patsoris quickly, and Pete Patsoris looked Jack Keneally in the eye and laid that one up. Patsoris, his 17th point on the night, and the Ranger lead is back to 3.
EC back to man-to-man defense. Good help by Pete Patsoris there.
Nice pass by Franz, and nice job by Keneally to keep it in bounds, and a Keneally driving layup is no good. Hewlett's will push with the big man behind on the play. Hewlett's pulls this one back out. The Rangers looking to extend their lead. Karan underneath takes it in, and a nice scoop by Hakeem, the Dream.
Really good take there. Really tough finish.
That is Karan's 7th point on the night. A nice driving layup like we saw against Valley Forge. That's Hakeem's MO right there. That's what he could provide this Rangers offense. Denny Fisher into the middle. The pull-up too strong, but there's Jack Keneally underneath. That one rims around. He gets his own rebound again. He is fouled underneath. 2 offensive rebounds, Pat. It's either going to be a layup or free throws for a guy of that size and skill if you continually let him have his way down.
So that's the trade-off you got to have right now. You don't want Pete Patsoris to pick up a third foul, so you have MJ Grayer on him, who's considerably smaller. He's been disrupting him, but from time to time he's going to go to the free throw line.
Checking back in for the Rangers is Miles Harper, the sophomore, Hakeem Karan, Riley Hewlett, Pete Patsoris, and Aiden Wacker, Denny Fisher, Jack Keneally, Alex Karen Dang, Jack Keneally, and Jarrett Franz out there for the
With MJ Grayer checking out, now Pete Patsoris will switch on and guard Keneally.
The Rangers and the Panthers are in a GLC duel here. And again, we're so happy that we can bring you basketball here on this fantastic Friday night. And we want to shout out our sponsor, Geiger's. Since 1932, Clevelanders have been coming to Geiger's to outfit their families for men's and women's clothing, footwear, and gear for snow sports. Our friendly, knowledgeable staff and exceptional customer service has given us the opportunity to serve generations of loyal customers. We thank you for shopping with us. And Pat, I believe Coach Gammock was probably shopping ideas around with his coaching staff. How did the Panthers manage to disrupt the Lakewood offense that looked so good in the first half? Now taking a little bit of a back seat to the Panthers' pressure defense, and we have a 3-point game as a result.
They're changing it up. They're, going man, going zone, going man, going zone. So, changing it up, it gives the Rangers a lot of different looks and can't really get in a rhythm when that happens.
Keneally captaining the defense from the middle, the big 6'7" forward with 19 points tonight. The Rangers counter with ball movement around the arc. Patsoris probing in the middle. Yulnitz from deep, just off the front of the rim. Yulnitz couldn't connect on that one, and here come the Panthers. A chance to tie this game up. Joey Bucci thought about it. Carabang out there, Fisher, Keneally, and Franz for the Panthers. Nice pass by Bucci there to get it into Keneally's hands. Back down the post it goes. Keneally up and no good. That one had a shot to roll in, but the ball tipped off to Patsoris, who pushes it the other way. Patsoris backs in. A tussle underneath as Patsoris falls behind the play. Franz for three. That one just rims out, and it looked like Harper was hit on a loose ball there, but the ball is going to say it was tipped off of Harper, and it will stay with the Panthers underneath. Keneally coming out for the Panthers. He will be replaced by number 24, Miles Linzer.
It's getting really physical out there on both ends of the floor.
A nice move there by Franz to get open. A nice sideline out of a baseline out of bounds there, but the ball is tipped out by Lisner, and we'll go back to the Rangers. Q Neal coming on for the Rangers to join Harper, Yulnitz, Wacker, and Patsoris. A smaller lineup than you're used to seeing for the Panthers as they counter with Lisner, Bucci, Fisher, Karendang, and Franz.
Going into the zone, being small, isn't as big of an issue. I mean, you still got to rebound the basketball, but, you're not going up Pete Patsoris one-on-one with somebody.
Miles Harper pulls the three, and that one is good. Nothing but net from the sophomore, young and dangerous Miles Harper.
That is what you love to see, the confidence in a young man to shoot the ball at such a young age, getting limited varsity minutes so far, coming in there and shooting the ball.
Miles Harper extends this lead to 6 for the Rangers, but Lisner is going to take it right back to 4 points as the Rangers lead the Panthers 53-49. Yulnitz knifing through the middle, a nice scooping layup, no good, and a hold there on, it looks like they're going to assess the foul to Q Neal. Waiting to see confirmation. No, that one's going to go against Miles Harper, a little too handsy underneath, and that ball will go back to the Panthers. 1:14 remaining here in the third quarter. 53-49 the Rangers lead. And if you're joining us at home, do not go anywhere. Put those dishes off for tomorrow as the Rangers and Panthers are locked in a good one. Bucci from the corner. That one no good, and the Rangers will push it the other way.
That's textbook boxing out right there. Rangers got into a body and were able to box out. That's fantastic.
Wacker, a nice fake, finds an open Yulnitz for three. That one is good. Riley Yulnitz, all 3 of these. 56-49 the Rangers lead. Coach Kammock imploring his Rangers to get a stop. Panthers moving the ball around the arc here. Elyria Catholic and Lakewood locked in a GLC showdown. Under 30 seconds remaining. Panthers down 7 here in the third quarter. Franz for 3. That one in and out. Ball's tipped back to Bucci, but the ball is tipped to Yulnitz, who will push. 8 seconds remaining. Yulnitz all the way. Yes, sir. Riley Yulnitz. 2-pointers, 3-pointers, whatever you want. I got it. Karadang for 3. No good.
That's a great way to end the quarter for the Rangers. You know, they got a big 3-ball. Riley played really good down the stretch with 1 minute to 2 minutes to go. Got some good hands down there. It was great.
For all the talk of the Rangers offense stalling out, boy, they really hit the gas at the end of that quarter, and it's thanks to the leadership of junior Riley Yulnitz. A nice 3-pointer on the end of great ball movement from the Rangers. A defensive stop here equals a layup here, and you know for a fact that that's what Coach Kamak was preaching at halftime, and he'll be preaching it to his guys as the fourth quarter kicks off here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
Yeah, if you can score before they get in their 2-3 zone, that's a positive. So, you know, get out and transition and get buckets. It's a great thing.
Wherever you are joining us tonight, we are so glad to have you along as the Panthers and Rangers are locked in a tussle here from the Coliseum in Elyria. 49 points for the Panthers, 58 points for the Rangers. A good offensive showing for the Rangers so far. It's going to be a contested fourth quarter. Jack Keneally's not going to let these Panthers go down without a fight. Pete Patsoris is going to continue to attack, and if you're a viewer at home, Pat, that's a recipe for some exciting basketball.
It wasn't the matchup of game for a reason. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
We don't mess around with matchups.
No,
we do.
You
our
are
research.
on the ball, and you know that extension of the lead is big for the Rangers because EC can't sit in that zone as long if you keep extending the lead.
Rangers and Panthers come out for the fourth quarter as Keneally is back out there with Franz. He is fouled underneath by Wacker. He's joined by Palmer, Colin Keneally, and number 0, Denny Fisher. Rangers countering with Miles Harper, Q, Neal, Riley Yulnitz, Pete Patsoris, and Aiden Wacker. Up and good. The free throw is from Jarrett Franz. That one rimmed around, and it is out as the Panthers now trail 50-58. Patsoris pushing it for the Rangers the other way. He has 17. Yulnitz has 13. Rangers attack will rely on those two to close out this one tonight. Patsoris, a nice move underneath, physical drive there. Franz looking for the call, but no call is given as the Rangers now lead by 10.
That just shows a little bit of Pete Patsoris' wiry strength. You know, you don't necessarily see his build. He's long and, you know, string bean, but pretty wiry strong.
Foul by Miles Harper underneath, his third foul, as Patsoris will now switch on to Keneally. Franz for 3. No good, little too strong for the big man as Patsoris waves those elbows around and clears it out. Another rebound for Patsoris as the Rangers come down leading by 10.
It's really nice to have a guy like Pete Patsoris back in there to rebound the basketball. The past couple games it's been so tough to get a rebound for the Rangers, and you know he comes in and makes something that was so difficult look so easy.
Patsoris takes it down underneath. That one rimmed around and was almost a three-point play, but Franz pleading his case that he was straight up in an illegal guarding position. The men in the zebra shirts saw it a different way, Pat. Patsoris continued to attacking with the Rangers up 10.
And that's what you need to do, especially when McNeely's guarding you. When he's got, 3 fouls, you want to get him in foul trouble.
Jared Franz on the defense on that play. Patsoris misses the free throw to keep this one at a 10-point game.
Franz has been shooting the ball very well, too, so getting him in foul trouble is very important as well.
The Rangers looking to extend their lead even further with a Patsoris free throw. 61-50 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel, presented by First Federal of Lakewood. Under 7 to play here from the Coliseum. Keneally, a nice pass to his brother underneath, and there's that brotherly love you talked about for our $2 keys to the game. Keneally to Keneally equals 3. Aggressive again. Carradang underneath. No good for Patsaurus, but there's Q Neal again. Nice job by Q Neal there to pull that one in. A Patsaurus driving in on Carradang. The layup just didn't fall for number 1.
You know, Q brings that really good energy. You know, crashing the boards is huge for him. He's very athletic, and that was showed right there.
Nice block there by Keneally with his arm straight up. Yulnitz got through and kicked it to Patsaurus, who was a little short on the three-point attempt.
Really good ball movement there, though.
Aggressive, and the aggressiveness will pay off as Q Neal will be called for the foul.
That's just.
Oh, excuse me, the foul is on Aiden Lacker grabbing the arm of Palmer Jr. as he goes to the line.
He's got to slide his feet and get in there instead of just reaching with some hands there.
Critical point here in this game as the fourth quarter is now under 6 minutes and the Panthers trail the Rangers by 8. And Pat, if the run is going to happen for the Panthers, you got to imagine it's going to be because they contain Pete Patsaurus on this end, rebound the basketball, and continue to attack the rim at the offensive end.
Yes, and the Rangers need to be very smart with their shot selection. Make sure it's a good one. You know, you want the ball in your key guys' hands, Riley and Pete, making good decisions up top, but don't need to force anything.
The Rangers now lead by 7 as Palmer Jr. knocks down the first one. That second one rims out for Palmer. And here comes Patsaurus. Rangers leading by 7 here with 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Yulnitz, a nice take there. Little motion offense here by the Rangers. Harper, Neal, Patsaurus, Karan, and Yulnitz out there for the purple and gold.
Come help him out. Gotta help him out good.
Rangers playing in the gym. That was the site of the Lorraine last year, trying to make some more memories in their first year of GLC play. A pivotal GLC matchup for both squads. Patsaurus down the lane. That one rims around and goes down. Pete Patsaurus now with 22 on the night. A pivotal drive by Patsaurus to extend this. Keneally to Keneally. That one this time will not be good as the Keneally connection doesn't work there. But Karan is fouled on his rebound. And Pat, again, Rangers doing a nice job of being consistent, finding good offense. And Pete Patsaurus is good offense for the Rangers, really doing a nice job to limit the opportunities the Panthers are seeing.
They did a great job of using clock there. You know, no shot clock in Ohio high school basketball. So they took a good minute and a half off the clock and got a bucket. You know, that's key.
A timeout by head coach Alex Kamak will sit down both squads as the Rangers lead by 9.
See, this is I love this place. Fantastic place to play. They got great scoreboards. But gyms that show how long the timeout is frustrating as a coach because you're looking up how much time is actually on the clock. You got to look before they start the clock and the timeout. So you got to have a coach looking at it before you call the timeout to know how, you know,
Who's
hey,
in charge
there's
of that
30.
for the Lakewood bench?
That's Coach Higgs. He's going to look up, say, okay, there's 30 seconds left in the game, or there's 3 minutes left in the game before the clock actually. You know, it's frustrating at times.
Well, don't get frustrated.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up in the booth now.
We're having a great time. Are you kidding me? Here
Yeah,
on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Wherever you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fun ride here at Elyria Catholic High School. And like you mentioned, you know, Coach Higgs, he's a Swiss Army knife on that bench. I mean, this is a coaching staff that is unrivaled in the area. Same goes with Elyria Catholic. Fantastic adjustments have been made by both squads all night. And it's just really nice to see that level of basketball acumen on both sidelines. It makes for great basketball.
Coach Higgs calls him, his nickname is Phil. You know why? He fills in wherever he's needed.
I could hear him coming through in that joke right there. A Coach Higgs classic as Patsaurus with a classic crossover. Pushing it down, Patsaurus will pull it out. Yulnitz will slow down the Rangers offense with under 5 remaining and leading by 9 as Harper, the ball was poked loose from him, but they're going to say France was a little too physical.
They're calling it on Miles Harper.
It appears that the steal was legit, but Harper's rebuttal was not. Coach Kamok pleading to get an explanation from
He
the
pushed Miles
referees.
Harper and then to get the ball. And he slammed the ball. Could have been a technical foul there.
Nevertheless, number 5, Jared France, will go to the line to try to pull the Panthers within 7. 63-54 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. That puts the Panthers in the bonus as Lakewood now has 8 fouls to the Panthers 3. A miss on the front end, and the Rangers will come up with it. Boy, Keneally had a hand on it. France then got a hand on it, but it was Q Neal, the Energizer Bunny for the Rangers.
I was just going to say, you got to move on.
The shoes match the nickname, and the Rangers will now control it with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
I was going to mention that the players looked like they were getting a little frustrated. You got to move on. Next play. You guys are winning. You got to control the tempo.
Karan underneath. The bucket will count. Hakeem Karan, a nice driving layup there. And, boy, the continuation on that one lasted longer than a Lakewood High School social studies class.
Man, oh, man, we are playing down at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, I think, man. He got a nice little continuation there.
The duration of the continuation was something to behold there, as Robert Palmer Sr. pleading for an explanation from the crew, as Coach Kamok was previously doing.
I'm not complaining, but interesting.
Hakeem Karan cannot convert on the back end of the and one, so this will be an 11-point contest here as 4 minutes remain on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
Something to take note of, EC still is only 4 team fouls. So once it gets down, they have a couple fouls to give that will take them a little bit longer to put the Rangers to the line.
Palmer a little too eager there as his feet shuffled beneath him, and the ball will be turned back over to the Rangers. Under 4 remaining here from Elyria Catholic High, and the Panthers will now apply the full court 1-2-2. A push by Palmer on Karan will frustrate Elyria Catholic.
This is where you got to keep your emotions in check.
Will get a side out of bounds now, leading by 11.
You got to keep your emotions in check, and the Rangers need to execute. Their EC is going to bring pressure, so you got to handle the pressure, run your press break offense, and get the ball past half court.
Rangers and Panthers exchanging some playful barbs back and forth here as these GLC opponents get acquainted. A foul again on Palmer. He can't believe it, but Karan can't believe he was pushed again.
Palmer's got to be careful. He's got a lot of antics going on. You don't want to get a technical foul in such a close game.
The 5th foul tonight on Palmer will have him seated on the bench for the remainder of this one. So the Panthers now with France, Colin, and Jack Keneally, Alex Carendang, and number 0, Denny Fisher out there. Yulnitz breaking all the way to the hoop. He was pushed by Carendang, and Yulnitz, good job throwing on the brakes there as the bleachers were closing in quickly on him.
Yeah, that was getting dangerously close to an intentional. It didn't look like they were going for the ball at all.
Now the Rangers will be in the 1-and-1 here for the remainder of the quarter, along with the Panthers in the 1-and-1. Yulnitz, fantastic free throw shooter. He poured in 17 points against Brecksville. He poured in another 19 against Valley Forge as he connects on the second free throw for his 15th point of the night. Rangers leading by 13 here. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining as the Panthers looking for a good shot to cut down the lead. Oh, the Rangers are in the stable on that one, but Keneally says no matter. You can bring the house. Keneally is still going to go
Rangers
through the front
need to
door.
be confident, can handle their basketball, and defensively don't foul. Don't put the EC on the line to get buckets with the clock stopped.
67 to 56, 69 to 56 with 3 minutes remaining as Riley Yulnitz pushes this lead even further.
Little floater with the kiss off the glass.
Franz, the spin move and the one-handed push shot is pulled down by Neal. Neal wisely pulls that one back out, and the Rangers are going to run some clock here, leading 69-56 on the Lakewood Sports Channel. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
This is where it's so beneficial for the Rangers to have a guy like Riley that he just handles the ball in the string. You know, he almost gets away from almost every 5-second call that starts getting counted against him.
Riley Yulnitz, the leader of the Rangers offense so far this season, as Karan underneath looking for his shot, and that one is no good. The Panthers with a chance to cut down this lead.
We didn't need that shot.
Franz, a dribble and three. That one is good. It bangs around, but goes down for Jared Franz from three. That is his 11th point of the contest and pulls the Elyria Catholic Panthers to within 10.
Yeah, you really need to be smart when you're the Rangers down here. It was a little bit of he got deep in penetration, but it was a little forced where you could run a little bit more clock, make him foul, put you on the free throw line.
Hakeem Karan, his attacking spirit is something that the Lakewood Rangers are so thankful to have, but right there you were hoping for a little bit of restraint as EC now trails by 10 on the Jarrett Franz three. And the big man's shown some nice range. Jack Keneally's shown some nice range for the Panthers. This team may be young, Pat, but boy, you got to watch out for these guys as they mature and get through. They're going to be tough to face when the Rangers play these guys a second time.
Yeah, both teams have had, shortened schedules. I mean, they've only played a few games each, so yeah, getting your legs under you, getting your shots under you takes some time, and you can tell EC has it in them, and they've showed it at times tonight, and they're going to keep it going throughout the season.
The Rangers will inbound the ball. It'll be Miles Harper, Hakeem Karan, Q Neal, Pete Patsoris, and Riley Yulnitz out there for the Rangers. Full court pressure being applied by the Panthers. 1-2-2 full court press.
Need to execute here. Control the basketball. Take care of the ball.
Riley corrals it from Harper. Harper swings it around to Patsoris. Patsoris will break it.
Smart play by Pete pulling this out.
Patsoris brings it out. Patsoris takes it down. No good, but there's Q Neal. Q Neal gets it back out to Hakeem Karan. And a timeout by Coach Alex Kamak. An exasperated Alex Kamak is looking for an explanation. Again, his team going to the bucket when all they need to do in reality is let EC come to them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The bucket didn't go, but the energy that Q Neal brings to crash and get an offensive rebound was huge.
The Rangers coming up huge here in the fourth quarter. The game was starting to tilt back the Panther way in the third quarter. But boy, when you got guys who are attacking like Riley Yulnitz, Pete Patsoris, 17 and 22 points respectively for those two. On a night like tonight, it's hard to beat the Lakewood Rangers when both Pistons are firing in that offensive engine.
You can look at the last minute of the third quarter as the big tilting point back for the Rangers. It was going all EC for the whole third quarter, and then the Rangers hit a couple shots, got a couple hands on some balls, and it went our way.
The Rangers trot back out to the court, up 10 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel, and Riley Yulnitz was huge down the stretch in the third quarter for the Rangers here. An exciting night of basketball on the Lakewood Sports Channel, brought to you by First Federal Lakewood. The Rangers trying to close this one out. Don't go anywhere. We still have GLC basketball to be decided.
Not where you want to throw the basketball.
Miles Harper, the young varsity player.
High IQ player, but he's still young.
Throwing that one in the corner to Q Neal. Luckily, the Rangers will require a do-over.
Yeah, that's who you want to. You want to get to Riley in the backcourt. He missed them, so he had to go to Q in the corner, and you don't want to catch the ball in the corner, especially this late in the game.
Yulnitz is doubled. Patsoris is doubled as well, but he finds Neal. Neal wisely pulls it back out to Karan. A clapping of the hands by Coach Alex Kamak. Patsoris in duress, but he finds a safety blanket in Riley Yulnitz. Yulnitz is doubled by the tall trees of Elyria Catholic, but the Panthers can't corral a ball that was tipped into the backcourt. Q Neal is tipped out of bounds. Q Neal dribbling that one, and it was tipped out of bounds, but it will stay with the Rangers. 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining. EC trailing by 10 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
You're already seeing more practice time and more game time being.
Q Neal looking for a push there on Canale, but he will not receive what he is looking for. You can't always get what you want, the famous Rolling Stones goes, but the Panthers have a chance to cut this one to single digits. 1 minute remaining here. Denny Fisher probing. He ran over Yulnitz. Those two collide as Keneally and Patsaurus collide underneath, and Patsaurus is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, as I was saying before we stepped out of bounds there, you can already see the Rangers' IQ growing from practice and playing games. Earlier in the year, they would have taken more shots and drove in. Now they're jump stopping, kicking it out, taking more time off the clock.
The Rangers are 1-2 on the young season, looking to knot up their conference record to 2-1 as Patsaurus extends the Ranger lead back to 11. Checking in for Elyria Catholic is Thomas Niederst.
I'm assuming he's a sharpshooter. Haven't seen him too much tonight. You want to get him in to shoot some shots.
Niederst, a fantastic job for the Elyria Catholic freshman team last year. Played in some big minutes for them. As Fisher pulls it from deep. That one is good. Denny Fisher showing his range.
That almost hit the rafters. That was so high.
Fisher threw his reel into the water, and it came back with something live on the
Here
other end.
we go.
What? Come on. You're going to throw a Coach Higgs joke out there. I got to get my
Hey, it wasn't a joke. It's serious. He calls himself Phil sometimes.
Well, alter egos aside here, we're really happy you joined us tonight on the Lakewood Sports Channel for a fantastic GLC matchup. And Pat, again, we can't stress it enough. The support of the Lakewood Athletic Boosters, First Federal, and all the fans at home like you all watching tonight. Colin Cunningham on the camera, Vince Franz, our producer at home. I mean, it's been so nice to have this experience on the Lakewood Sports Channel, and it only stands to get better. As you can see tonight, it feels like a little bit like normal, a little bit. Fans starting to get into the gym and witnessing a cohesive schedule for the Rangers. You can already see it. They played Tuesday night. Now they're playing tonight here, Friday night, prime time. That's what they're used to. That's their routine. And you can see tonight that's really paid off for them.
Absolutely. Not playing at 6 o'clock, not playing, this week, not next week. They're finally getting into some flow, and the Rangers' offense is getting into a little bit of flow as well.
70-62, the Rangers lead this one.
Get the ball in bounds, take care of the basketball, go to the free throw line, put this game away.
Press breaker there, got Riley Yulnitz into the corner, and a jump ball will keep the ball with the Rangers underneath, Pat. That's a dangerous place to put that one.
It really is. When you're running your press offense, you really want to catch the ball free throw line extended if you can, or, as far away from the corner as possible.
Rangers looking to hold on and go 2-2 on the season. 70-62, they lead the Panthers. Miles Harper is fouled by number 11, Joey Bucci. Miles will go to the line, the young sophomore, pivotal tonight to the Rangers' success, trying to extend the lead to double digits.
Yes, he was a good free throw shooter on the JV level, but 34 seconds left in a varsity basketball game, first time at the line. Let's see if he can knock him down.
Harper at the line for the Rangers. The first one up and way long. This will give the ball back to the Panthers.
Don't foul
down
for
8,
the Rangers.
30 seconds left. Keneally
Show your
between
hands.
his legs, up and in, no good for Keneally, but pulled down underneath to Franz for two. That one is put up and good. The Panthers now trail by just 6. 22.4 seconds remaining.
Full timeout, Panthers.
And this is what I'm talking about. So you got 22 seconds on the clock. They start the 1 minute clock. So you got to know, Rangers, you got to get the ball in bounds, and you have to have that guy step in and maybe drop it back as a reversal if you can't find the guy middle. So your first look is sideline, middle, reverse, deep opposite are the looks that you look at. They're coming to trap you right away. So Riley wants to get it, be strong with the basketball. Look sideline, probably not going to be there. Probably find the reversal.
The Rangers looking for some answers to the Elyria Catholic press, which has brought the game to back within 6. The Rangers led by as many as 13 here in the fourth quarter. And again, Pat, getting a little sticky for the Rangers here at the end of the game. Hopefully they can come out of this one unscathed.
Yes, it is. If you get the basketball into the middle, you've broken the press here. So that'd be key. But be strong with the basketball. Don't let them take it from you. Jump ball arrow is going to EC. So that's key as well.
Rangers with Patsoris, Harper, Neal, Karan, and Ulintz out there. Franz, Fisher, Bucci, Keneally, and Colin Keneally out there for Elyria Catholic. Patsoris bounces that one in, but Ulintz lost it. Off to Franz for 3. That one too strong. Pulled down by Bucci. Over to Fisher. That one is good. Danny Fisher makes this one a one-possession game. Rangers get the ball in, and Miles Harper is fouled, and now the Panthers with a ton of daylight. Pat, it feels like just yesterday you and I were reminiscing over a 10-point Ranger lead, and boy, the script has been flipped.
You are dead on. He's got 2 shots. Take a deep breath, knock it down, kid.
Miles Harper, the sophomore, wise beyond his years. The first one too strong for Harper, as the Rangers now only lead by 3.
Just drop it over the front of the rim.
Comes back out there for Elyria Catholic. Colin and Jack Keneally, Jarrett Franz, and the sharpshooter Denny Fisher out there for the Panthers. Harper is up, and that one is long again. 3-point lead.
Do not
Keneally
foul.
pushes for 3. Jack Keneally, bang! We are tied here at Elyria Catholic High School. 70-70, and overtime awaits the Rangers and the Panthers, and it looks like Coach Kamak was trying to call a timeout.
Yeah, he definitely was, and you got to be looking for that, especially on a shot like that. But man, oh man, was it right in the Rangers' hands?
My, oh my is right. Man, oh man, however you want to put it. This is a shocking turn of events here on the Lakewood Sports Channel, as the Panthers, trailing by as many as 10 with under 2 minutes remaining, Pat, are now tied with the Rangers. And boy, this is the type of basketball you expected this year in the GLC.
Yeah, it is, and not the way you want to close out a game, but you have to move on and forget about it, and now play these, this overtime period as hard as you can, and
if
just
you're
put
Coach
it behind
Kamak and you're in there and you just gave up a 10-point lead in under 2 minutes,
Gotta forget
but
about
you still have a chance to win the game. What are you telling the team right now?
Forget about the game. You just got to win this. Win the quarter. Win the overtime period.
Forget about the quarter,
Yes,
you mean?
yes. I mean, and win this period, or this overtime period. I mean, forget what happened. It's a new game. It's 0-0.
The Panthers are stalking the Rangers with a newfound sense of life here, as it seemed that the Rangers would take this one into the sunset with a W, but now overtime is upon us. Patsoris, Neal, Ulitz, Harper, and Karan out there for the Rangers. Keneally, Fisher, and Franz counter for the Panthers. Luke Keneally tipping it off against Patsoris. Overtime here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Keneally tips it to Franz. A tip there by Karan, and Q Neal comes up with it. Patsoris the other way. Patsoris underneath that one, no good. He grabs his own rebound. He is fouled underneath by Karen Dang. He will go to the line for 2. And Pat, like you said, Coach Kamak imploring his young team to forget about it, let bygones be bygones, but win the overtime. That's all that matters. Pete Patsoris putting the team right where he needs to be. 2 more shots at the free throw line.
Yeah, attacking and getting bumped, now hitting the free throws.
The overtime period here is a 4-minute overtime. 3 minutes and 48 seconds remain. 71-70, the Rangers lead.
One possession at a time.
Patsoris
Win each possession.
can't get that one to go. It was halfway down. It rimmed out. Panthers trailing by 1. 3 minutes and 42 seconds remain. Fisher is hit there by Patsoris, and now the Panthers will go to the line to try and take the lead.
And EC hasn't been in their normal half-court offense for a while. They've been kind of running and gunning, getting steals, trying to get shots. So the Rangers had to sit back, try to get some hands in the passing lane, and show your hands.
Denny Fisher, the fantastic shooter, to the line for the Panthers, but that one rims off. Karan pulls it down. Rangers lead by 1. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the overtime period. The crossover by Patsoris. He found himself under the hoop and fouled by Karen Dang. And Karen Dang looking for an explanation, and he received one from the official underneath the hoop. It's Patsoris back to the line for a few free throws.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the correct call. I think he was riding him, on his hip kind of the whole way, giving him a little body. So I think 2 shots is definitely warranted.
Patsoris knocking that one down as the Rangers and Panthers battle in overtime here. A 10-point lead for the Rangers with under 2 minutes to go evaporated. Panthers on a Jack Keneally 3 forced overtime. Now a pair of free throws by Patsoris put the Rangers in front by 3. Karen Dang all the way down. He lost it. He touched it, but the touchline was breached as Karen Dang throws that one away.
Ranger
and the
ball.
Rangers will come back leading by 3.
We've been here before, guys. Gotta handle pressure. Handle pressure, take care of the basketball.
73-70 the Rangers lead. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. That one hit off Karan's hands, and it's back to the Panthers just like that, Pat. And again, if you're the Rangers, you have to make it a little tougher for the Panthers to get the ball back.
Yes, and in the EC head coach's mind, he's thinking, man, why didn't I throw some pressure out earlier?
The Rangers and the Panthers here in overtime on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Keneally grabs it, passes it off to Colin Keneally. Franz in the corner there. He stood up by Harper, touched and tipped by Patsoris. A valiant effort to save that one, but it'll stay with the Panthers.
I'll tell you one thing. Coach Kamlock and his coaching staff will be working on press offense quite a bit this week in practice.
Putting them back in this one. 73-70 the Rangers lead. Patsoris free throws have been the difference here in overtime. 3 minutes remaining in the overtime period here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
Pete Patsoris doing a fantastic job of trying to front the defense.
Keneally underneath. Patsoris, nice defense, nice rebounding. Patsoris fighting underneath, but he breaks out with Yulnitz. Yulnitz telling the Rangers to slow down the pace. The Rangers commander taking the offense where it needs to go here in the overtime period. 73-70 the Rangers lead the Panthers. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Keneally matched up on Yulnitz. Rangers spacing at Carolina here as the Rangers call it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to take it out, make them put you on the line here.
Patsoris drives in, finds
Smart.
Karan. Karan for 3. No good. But
not
Miles
what you
Harper
needed.
pulled it down, and he is tied up. The ball will stay with the Panthers. Keneally taking exception to that one. What a job by the young man Miles Harper to keep that ball in the purple and gold's possession.
My. We don't need that. We don't need that three-pointer. I mean, it was a good look, but let's run some more clock off. We're doing a pretty good job of it. Luckily we got the ball back there.
Ball goes into the corner to Karan. Patsoris backing down Franz, a formidable defender. Patsoris layup, no good. Here come the Panthers. Franz pushing the ball.
Got to sprint back and play defense. They've gotten some stops here. Really got to buckle down here.
73-70. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the overtime period.
Got to know where the shooters are. Talk on defense, call out screens.
Nice job by Harper to jump in the passing lane, and the Rangers will corral this one. Here comes Patsoris riding down on the other end, and he will ride all the way to the half-court line and pull this one out. But no, Patsoris will take it in. No good. Q Neal again, the rebound. The Rangers really pushing the pace as Coach Kamlock calls for a timeout.
He was calling a timeout. I was calling a timeout up here.
Unfortunately, Pat, I don't think the refs looked up here at the announcing booth. I think you'll have to jump up and down next time.
Ooh, man, this is getting crazy here.
The Rangers out there with Patsoris, his first game since the Parma contest, which was a month ago. The Rangers 2 losses in a row to Brecksville Valley Forge. Seemed like they have this one wrapped up, Pat. It's been a long journey for the Rangers to get to this point. They're in the driver's seat, but that could be said about a number of games that the Rangers have had this year.
Yeah, and I talked earlier about the Rangers kind of learning and, gaining experience about, taking care of the basketball, making a smart play. I think once I said it, they kind of forgot about it. And now they're starting to attack. We don't need to attack. We want, Riley, Pete, these guys get into the free throw line, and they've been there all night. Keep going, keep knocking them down.
The Rangers certainly seem to be in the driver's seat here. 73-70. They lead the Panthers here in overtime. Time winds down on the Coach Kamach timeout as 1 minute and 28 seconds will greet the Rangers as they take the floor here. You got to believe that with a squad out there with first-time varsity guys, Neal, Karan, Harper, Coach Kamach stressing that possession is the name of the game here.
Miles Harper got to be smart here. He's got Keneally guarding the ball, long, lengthy. You got to get the ball inbounds. Do have one timeout.
Nice pass underneath by Harper. Patsoris underneath that one. No good, but a foul by Franz underneath, and Franz throws up his hands in desperation, wondering how else he can defend Patsoris, but no matter. Patsoris will go to the line for a pair.
Big free throws here. Make it a two-possession game.
Patsoris knocks down that one. 74-70, the Rangers lead with 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. Patsoris a little short on that one, but a push will be assessed to Karan, and Coach Kamach scratching the back of his head in agony as a foul on the Rangers on the shot will put the Panthers at the line with 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. A double bonus situation coming up for the Rangers.
Yeah, that is one of the last things you want to do for the Rangers is put EC on the line to score buckets without the clock running.
Up and good by Franz. His 13th point of the contest. Pete Patsoris with 27, Riley Ulentz with 17, and Big Jack Keneally with 24 for the Panthers. Another free throw is up and good by the big man for the Panthers. Rangers lead by 2, but a press break by Patsoris. He'll take this one in over Carindang and in. Pete Patsoris, 29 points and a 4-point advantage for the Rangers. Q Neal doubling Franz on the sideline, and Palmer.
That seems like it'd be a technical foul.
Palmer
you can't do that.
To the hardwood, but no.
That is the second time he's done that tonight. He's done that twice when he thought the foul was on him, and then he got the call, and then they don't tee him up there again. It's it's tough late in games, close game. You don't want to be a part of why the game finished the way it is, but you also can't do that.
Jarrett Franz, a nice job to hold on to the ball there, but the problem was when he released it on the sideline, and Panthers staring down a 4-point deficit. They laugh in the face of a late game deficit. A fantastic job coming back by the Panthers to get this game to overtime. And, the Rangers didn't come out discouraged. They came out in an attacking mindset.
Almost too much.
But let me ask your opinion on that. You got a team like the Rangers who love to attack. It does wonders for them in the beginning of the games. It hurts them down the stretch later in games. Would you rather have a team that you need to build up in terms of aggressiveness or tamp down?
No, you definitely want to be aggressive. You just got to learn when to pump the brakes a little bit. Like early, when, start the overtime, absolutely. But once you get that lead, you build that lead a little bit, you got to run some clock off, especially when you have such good free throw shooters that we do have. 76-72, the Rangers lead. Keneally inbounding for the Panthers as we have 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining here in overtime. Coach Palmer out of timeouts. Rangers still have one.
The ball off Keneally's foot, and Pete Patsoris will flex and clap as he knows the Rangers can close this one out with smart play down the stretch. 1 minute, 6 seconds remaining. The ball back with the Rangers.
Until that clock says 3, 4 zeros, I'm not saying anything. This game is still in question.
The Rangers lead by 4 here with 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. Yulnitz in the backcourt. He will corral this one. Met by Colin Keneally at the timeline.
Seems like we got a little confusion here. We got overload.
Yulnitz dribbling this one around. A nice job by Yulnitz to keep us cool there, and they will send a good free throw shooter to the line in Riley Yulnitz.
Yeah, that worked out for the Rangers because I think they wanted to be in their Carolina spread offense set, and they had an overload to one side. It wasn't run properly, but it still worked out.
Our top performers of the night, Jared Franz for the Panthers, 15 points. Jack Keneally with 24 for the Rangers. 29 big points by Pete Patsoris. And his return, Riley Yulnitz pumping his number up to 18. And
Aiden Wacker filled in 10.
Aiden Wacker. Number 3, Aiden Wacker, 10 big points, and Akeem Karan with 9 points for the Rangers. Yulnitz up and in. Riley Yulnitz automatic from the free throw line.
Do not foul if you're the Rangers.
Under a
Show
minute
your
remaining.
hands.
48 seconds remain. 78-72, the Panthers trail. Nieders fires it over to Fisher. Keneally underneath. That one is no good, but a foul on the Rangers underneath will put Colin Keneally at the free throw line.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, you had EC using a little bit of clock there themselves, trying to get a good shot. Drive, I thought he might have, been a little out of control. Don't need to foul him there.
Keneally, the free throw rims around and out as the lead stays at 6 with 34.9 seconds remaining. Keneally up and no good again, but there's Jared Franz. That ball was off of Jared Franz down
Awfully
low.
close there, man.
And it will go to the Rangers. Patsoris breaking the press. Goes by Franz, goes by Fisher. Can't get by Colin Keneally because he was fouled. And it's Pete Patsoris looking to go over the 30-point mark for the Rangers.
Pete Patsoris, 2 shots.
Knock these down. Put the game away, Pete. Had such a nice, awesome game. Knock these down and really put a number on it.
Pete Patsoris, a fantastic free throw shooter. Also our cameraman, Colin Cunningham, a fantastic free throw shooter as well. Pete Patsoris a little long on that one. Will keep the Ranger lead at 6. 78-72 here from the Coliseum in Elyria. Aiden Wacker checking back in for the Rangers.
Telling him, do not foul, do not foul.
Another miss by Patsoris will give the Panthers life at the other end. 20 seconds remain. Keneally from the corner. That one is short. Rebound there by Colin Keneally. That one is short. But Jack Keneally, the reverse underneath. Panthers trail by 4. 12 seconds remaining and the clock is running. The foul is by Nieders, on Patsoris. He will go to the line with the Rangers leading by 4, 78-74.
He just missed the last 2. The legs are starting to feel it. Overtime, been out a little bit. It's going to happen. You just got to dig deep for these next 2.
Pete Patsoris, 2 big free throws on the young season for the Rangers. Patsoris up and in. Lakewood leading 79-74, 10 seconds here at Elyria Catholic High School. Patsoris up and in. 80-74, the Rangers lead. Ball is rolled to Jack Keneally. Pulls up for 3. No good. Keneally too strong on that one. Miles Harper the rebound. 3.3 on the clock, and Harper will go to the line with the Rangers in the driver's seat. Up 6, and Pat, I have a message from those watching at home to stop jinxing the Ranger free throw shooters.
I don't think I did this time. I did in the beginning of the game. I haven't
I'm
said
just
much
saying,
in overtime.
Pat, we are responsive.
But speaking
to our
of,
fans.
I apologize. Speaking of free throws, this is an awesome spot for Miles Harper to get back to the line. You know, he missed a couple in regulation. It's nice to get him back at the line with a few seconds left.
Miles
in
Harper knocking down a big free throw there.
the game. There you go. And,
Senior number 33, Mel Belwan.
Senior number 33, Mel Bauheim, a fan favorite, coming in for Elyria Catholic. 81-74, the Rangers lead. 3 seconds remaining here at Elyria Catholic High School. The Rangers having Q Neal step in there. Miles Harper at the line for his second. That one is good as the Rangers will inbound. The Panthers inbound, and Balhoun is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot free throws.
Really awesome moment here for the Elyria Catholic Panthers. It's always fun to get a fan favorite at the line to shoot two late in the game when the game's already in
The
question.
roar of applause for Mel was overwhelming as he will go to the free throw line looking to knock in a pair. Mel's free throw is up and just off. I thought that one was in for sure. Nice shot there by Mel as the Rangers lead 82-74. Mel on his second attempt here. That one is up. Oh, boy, that one normally goes down for Mel. A great shot there by Mel.
Lane violation on the Rangers.
Lane
He's going to get one
on
more.
the Rangers. Mel's going to get another shot at this.
He's been so close on the first two. Let's hope he knocks it down.
Here goes Mel at the line. That one just a little long. He's going to try one more. Yeah!
He got it. That
Number
is awesome.
33 knocks it in. What a shot by number 33, Mel Balhoun. What a shot, and the Elyria Catholic Panther fans and the Lakewood Ranger fans are happy to see that one. The time will run out. The scoreboard lights up, and the Rangers are victorious. 82-75. What a thriller from the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic. And folks, a fantastic game here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. I hope you at home were monitoring the status of your heart on here, and a fantastic job by the Rangers to pull that one out for the win here. They are now 2-1 in GLC play and 2-2 overall on the season. And we have a special guest here to wrap it up very quickly on the Lakewood Sports Channel. It's head coach Alex Kamak. And Coach, thank you for coming on. I know we got a tight setup here. And just your thoughts on the win there. Obviously not how you anticipated it to go down, but a W in the book for the Rangers, sir.
I don't really care about it anymore after that last bucket. It's the darn nicest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Really good win. We got to learn to win when it's winning time. Up 10 with a minute and 30, and we managed to blow that, and that's on me. We got to continue to work at that at practice and put ourselves in position and spaces to be successful. That last free throw was really cool.
That was awesome. A great moment for the Elyria Catholic Panthers senior Mel Balhoun. He was going to the line there, a few lane violations, and man, that was nothing but net. A nice shot there by the senior.
Man, you sit on the bench all game, and you gotta get warmed up
cold.
Pretty quickly and hit
Absolutely.
one. So that was pretty impressive.
That was great. A great atmosphere here, a great gym. You guys have had many memories here at Elyria Catholic. This one, I'm sure, will stick out in your mind for different reasons.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you did a nice job tonight helping your guys stay engaged. You came out after the fourth quarter, and really your guys were still attacking. Their heads weren't down. They were convinced that they still had what it would take to win the game.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. You know, it was really nice to come out after the fourth quarter, after a three-pointer at the buzzer, the other team celebrating. You hope that they kind of lose their juice. And I thought we played with good juice. We got a deflection and a steal right away. That's awesome. I thought Q was fantastic defensively on the ball. A lot of energy there. It was a long freaking game, but it was fun to get out of here with the win, because the last time we were in here, it was a little different feeling.
Final question for you as you head down to those guys in the locker room. What can a win do for a young team like you have tonight, where you have that 10-point lead, a minute 30 remaining, win probability probably through the roof, right? Lead comes back down. You guys were able to secure the win. What can this do to help you reinforce the messages that you guys have been preaching at practice?
Well, I mean, I think it's nice to get escape with a win there, but the same mistakes we made, we cannot keep making them. So to get a win is awesome, but we know that margin is so slim, like we keep talking about. So we had it in hand, and all of a sudden it's gone. I mean, we got to be desperate with it. We got to be desperate, and we got to get better at practice.
Well, Coach Kamach, thank you so much for joining us here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. An appearance by Coach Lovett. This is the walking starway exit for the Lakewood Rangers. And Coach Lovett, take me through that huddle after the Jack Keneally three-pointer. Take me through what you guys were telling the team in there.
We told them we had to clean up the defense. It was pretty sloppy. We knew the game plan. He was getting the ball. That's their best player. They've been running the offense through him all day. And we knew that was going to happen, but we didn't execute in that particular moment. But we made up for it by making up for it in overtime.
Line from Coach Kamach there. He said you guys were not discouraged. In fact, you brought the juice in the overtime. And
Yes.
I got to give you guys credit. Watching you warm up here, no JV game, no freshman game, a little different, a little weird to get here and nothing's going on.
Right.
You guys were stretching with less than 5 people in the building, clapping, being excited, understanding it's a great opportunity to come out here and play basketball on a Friday night. What could be better?
Right.
The energy. We could hear you guys in the locker room as we were setting up the broadcast. What was different about the energy tonight from the game on Tuesday?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, like, I get juiced up coming out here. This is my hometown. So, you know.
An Elyria alumni, so no love lost for Elyria Catholic.
No, not at all. So, but, you know, this is one of the greatest buildings that you could play in. The Coliseum is historic around Ohio. You know, a lot of people like traveling here and playing here. It's a fun atmosphere. Obviously, COVID situations prevent it from being that same energetic place that we know it to be. But, you know, we know this place very well. We do our districts here, well, we have in the past, and, you know, we played in tournaments here. So this is a familiar place here. And here we had a lot of success in the past. So anytime our guys get here, it feels like home court, honestly. So, you know, the same energy that we had coming off the bus, we brought it into the building. I think when the guys come out here, they almost get not to look forward, but a playoff atmosphere type of feel, you know.
You drive down those familiar roads.
Yeah.
The memories start to come back, the significance of a gym like this.
Yeah, you take the hills down Golf Road and kind of go. You know, I tell the same speech about the park that I played at all the time, and, you know, they start asking questions, and we get juiced up, and right off the bus we're ready to go. So it's a special group of guys. We got some stuff to clean up, but it's early on in the season. And we knew that going in, but just because you got to learn things doesn't mean you have to lose games, you know.
Well, there's one thing I know for sure, that a celebration doesn't start until Meach Lovett walks through the doors. So get down into that locker room, celebrate the win, unorthodox to say the least, but a Ranger W is always a good way to spend a Friday night. Thank you so much,
love it. Go Rangers.
And that'll do it from the Lakewood Sports Channel. My co-host still trying to track down a hot dog that was never secured here at Elyria Catholic High School. But as we wind down here tonight, we're so glad you could join us at home, wherever you are joining from, near, far, all over the country, all over the world. Pat, this was a heart-wrenching one, a heart-warming one,
Yes.
but ultimately your heart turns purple and gold with a W for the Rangers.
Yeah, it had a little bit of every emotion involved in it, man. You were excited, then you were shocked, and then you were sad, and then, like you said, excited again. And the outcome was awesome, and the end of the game was awesome. You know, getting guys that don't get very many minutes and,
Right.
get to play a lot, to get in the game so early in the season
Right.
and get a shot and make it. It's fantastic.
Well, there's nothing better than a Friday night in Northeast Ohio basketball, and to put a cherry on top of that, there is nothing better than a Friday night and a Ranger W. For Patrick Hayes, I am Grant Graves, Colin Cunningham behind the camera. To all our producers that help us out at home, have a good night, and go Rangers.
Go Rangers.
Woo.